I'm Dennis Morgino. Many of us cross into Mexico to buy souvenirs, maybe eat a lobster dinner or entertain friends. But millions of Americans, thousands of your neighbors, are going down on a regular basis to buy prescription drugs, everything from Valium to Viagra. Now, these drugs are easy to find and the prices are much lower. But do you always know what you're getting? And is it always legal to bring drugs back across the border? We learned in our investigation that many consumers are misinformed, understandably so. Even those who make and enforce the rules don't always agree. Mike Walliser takes 4 prescription drugs a day.
I take low pressor, low tensin, some kind of diuretic, and Prilosec.
Most of the drugs are for blood pressure. And all of them he buys in Mexico.
Since it's 30 minutes away, why not? It's too close to ignore.
About every 2 weeks, he makes the trip south on his motorcycle.
The drugs are so much cheaper down there.
Hey,
He usually doesn't declare the medication, and he's never been stopped or searched. But recently, he did declare what he had.
One day I got to the border, and the guard said, what do you have to declare? And I said, drugs. And he says, let's see them. So I pulled out the bag and handed him the bag, and he looked in the bag and handed it back and said, okay. And that was that.
It's perfectly legal to buy prescription drugs in Mexico, but it's not legal to bring them back without a prescription.
Medications that require a prescription, we have to see that there is a prescription.
Mike's been buying his prescription drugs in Tijuana for 7 years.
So that's $34 US, right? Okay. On average, it's from 1/3 to 2/3 less.
Mike claims not once has he been asked for a prescription, and today is no exception.
Bring anything back with you? Yeah. This transmission's gonna fall out here pretty quick. Thank you, sir. Didn't ask for a prescription. He asked me if I had anything to declare, and I showed him the package, and he handed it right back to me. I don't even think he looked inside.
So what's going on here? It's called enforcement discretion.
Some inspectors may not feel that this is a high priority.
Come on, sir, man, let's go.
So in effect, customs inspectors know the law, they just don't always enforce it.
I'm sure we don't catch them all.
The American solution for everything is we make a law. We don't enforce that law, but we make one.
But it's not even as simple as that. We talked with the FDA's import operations manager in Washington, D.C. He told us the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act states that any drug sold in Mexico is automatically an unapproved drug in the United States because it's out of the FDA's jurisdiction, meaning with or without a prescription, drugs bought in Mexico are not allowed in this country. But the FDA leaves it up to customs on how to enforce the act.
They entrust us with the responsibility to prohibit drugs from entering the country that are prohibited by FDA.
That would mean customs should never allow prescription drugs through, but they do. Just ask Bill Blanchard.
Usually once a week at least, I go down to Mexico. So I purchase prescription drugs for other people.
Bill has priced the drugs he buys on this side of the border. Today, he takes us into Long's Drugs in San Isidro to show us the difference.
42 pills. Yes. In Mexico, I get the Prozac for $90, and I get the Premarin for 17 something. So it's about probably exactly half of what that is up here.
Next stop, a Tijuana Farmacia.
Premarin, 42 capsules. Okay.
Okay, let me check. Can you
Good.
wait?
I'll wait.
And the sale is
Oh,
made.
yes. So it was $19 here, and it was $35.15 in San Isidro.
Now, let's see what happens once he reaches the border.
I want to declare a thing of Premarin I got for a friend.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
And the reaction from customs?
For a friend, can't bring drugs for somebody else. Guess it happens. You saw it. Okay. So you're filming me?
Supervisor Ginger then asks us to turn off our camera while she talks candidly about how she wished the system was more lenient towards seniors. Her frustration was evident.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that it happened.
For pedestrians returning to the U.S., there are more controls in place and a little less discretion.
Right there. That's a prescription. That's medication right there. It's some form of pills in this bag right here.
The X-ray machine catches a lot. And bags are checked more often. But the drugs still get through.
Well, I think it's pretty bad. Part of the problem is the customs agents are overworked down there because that is the busiest port of entry in the world.
The Drug Enforcement Administration is mainly concerned with what are called controlled substances, drugs like Rohypnol, otherwise known as the date rape drug.
Rohypnol and Valium are probably the most popular that we see coming to the port of entry that we've experienced, that I've experienced. And then steroids is also very popular.
And those controlled substances are getting more popular with younger users.
We've seen blister packs for Valium around high schools and junior highs now. You don't know what you're going to get from a foreign country. You just don't know.
La farmacia en México.
The drugstores in Mexico are family-owned. It's a different system than in the United States. Mexico still needs a lot of professionalism.
So, is the risk worth the reduced price? Depends upon who you ask.
It's the same drug companies down there that are up here. They're owned by the same people.
There are a lot of products down there that are coming from Latin America that have 10, 11 different drugs in one product. Most of the Mexican citizens don't have a lot of money to spend on that. They want to get one pill that will cover all of the situations that they might run into in a particular illness.
You really have no idea what you're taking until after you've taken it.
Probably the most important thing is to find a business person in Mexico, a pharmacist, who has a prosperous store in a prosperous area.
My advice is don't buy any pharmaceuticals in Mexico.
But it seems that won't be happening anytime soon.
I think our culture is one that if you don't feel good, take a pill.
The United States has the most regulation and the highest standards for prescription drugs in the world, yet the number of pharmacies in Tijuana has quadrupled over the last 3 to 4 years, and they're staying in business thanks to their American customers.